March Madness equals tournament time. Is Western basketball ready to dance? The Griffon women are limping in, while the men need one more win to help their longtime coach cross a career milestone. Meanwhile, Western softball walking tall and swinging a big stick, literally. GSI marches in with a kick, and it starts now. Hi, folks. Welcome to Griffon Sports Insider. Along with Brett Easley, I'm Ryan Menley. Lots to talk about, Brett.
Lots to talk about this week, Ryan. We begin with basketball. The Griffon men enter this week's MIAA basketball championship as the number 7 seed. They take on second seeded Fort Hays State.
Before we look ahead, we look back to the last week of the regular season. The Griffons need to work a little overtime to punch their postseason ticket. Tom Smith back in his own stopping grounds of Warrensburg. Griff's taking on Central Missouri. First half, all Western. Jonathan Phelps, deep three, high arch, drains it. Griff's up 12. Later, off the break, Peon Stinnett scored 15 of his 17 points in the first half. Draws the whistle and gets the three-point play here. Central coach Kim Anderson cannot believe it. If he couldn't believe that, he definitely wouldn't believe this. Phelps draws the foul and drops the garbage shot. He had 18 points. Griff's up 47-38 at halftime. Second half, Central charges back. Nice ball movement down low to Boo Hunter for the big dunk. Mules within 2. From there, it's a back and forth game. TJ Johnson, the bullet to DeJuan Harris, who gets the hoop and harm. He had 16 points. Griff's by 2. Other end, loose ball. Central's going to come up with it, get it up ahead to Tyrone Young, who dances around, draws the whistle, and gets a three-point play of his own. Mules up 1. Final seconds, tied at 77. Central with the ball. The last shot, Hunter can't get it to go. Tip in, rolls out. We're going to overtime. OT, Western bears down. Ace Thomas, the steal and basket. Griff's up 86-83. Seconds later, tied at 86 now. Stinnett to Harris, who unties it with the corner 3. Griff's up 3 again. Final minute, tied again. Stinnett dances around again, drives, and hits TJ Johnson in the corner, who hits the 3 ball here. Griff's had 5 in double figures as they go on to upset Central 95-91. It's Western's first win in Warrensburg since 2002.
I think it's one, I mean, it shows how good we can be when we play together and do the right things, and the kids stick together and pull together. I think that's the biggest thing.
We did a lot of things that we did in the beginning of the season as a team, assists and help side defense, everyone boarding, and just fighting all the way to the end, and so hopefully we can build on that.
We needed one just to get in, so it made our season pretty much, and we just got to go out, try to get one more before we head to Kansas City for the tournament.
Western men closing out the regular season at Southwest Baptist. Coach Tom Smith searching for career win number 600, but it wasn't meant to be. Why? Well, Southwest Baptist drained nearly 600 three-pointers on this night. They opened the game on a 21-6 run, drained 10 first-half threes, and took a 51-32 lead to halftime. Griff's trying to combat outside fire with inside thunder. Levante Douglas spins, draws the whistle, and gets a three-point play. He had 22 points on 7 of 11 shooting, but that was nowhere near enough. Baptist shot 59% from the floor, 54% from behind the arc. They nailed 17 three-pointers. Win number 600 will have to wait for Smith. Baptist rolls 98-78. Bearcats clinch the 8th seed in the MIAA tournament with the win. Western, a 7 seed, will play second seeded Hays in the tourney Thursday. And joining us right now is Tom Smith. Coach, we saw a great performance on Wednesday by your team. Not so great performance Saturday by your team, but I think Southwest Baptist had a lot to do with that. How do you feel coming into this tournament?
Well, I feel great. We've been the model of consistency all the way through the whole year. I mean, one night I think we're capable of beating anybody that we play, and then other nights we're the same team that barely escaped at Lincoln with a win, and Truman came in and beat us by 14 right here in our own home court. So. I don't know. I just the ups and downs of this year have really been tough. I think as I said, I think you're just when people talk about coaching and they say there's the highs and the lows. Well, I think we've seen the highs and the lows about as well as you could see them this year.
Well, we are in a conference tournament. We open up with Fort Hays State. That's certainly no walk in the park, but. Over the last couple of years, we've matched up pretty well with Hays. We know they have a very good interior game. Just talk about what that matchup's going to bring Thursday night.
Well, I think that's the key is, can we get them stopped a little bit inside? And I think the second key is, how we start the game offensively. I think that has been maybe the biggest tag on this year's team. I think when we have gotten off to good starts early in games, we have been able to play with anyone. We've been a very, very good basketball team. When we have not gotten off to good starts, when we've taken a good punch early, we have not responded real well.
You're sitting on 599 career wins. How stressful is that for you?
Did you know you were on 599?
No,
you had no idea.
No, not at all.
I didn't think so.
I have the numbers tattooed on the back of my head. And it's been stressful, way more so than the 500, than getting to 500. I think just getting there and then being at a point where it all comes down to one game. I mean, there's no tomorrow, there's no the next one. Either you have to win this one to advance the season, and by winning it, of course, it's 600. So it all comes down to this game.
Timing of this question may not be the best, but just want to throw it out there. Do you shoot for 700 wins, or how much longer are you going to be in this game, Coach?
I don't know.
Boy.
That's a tough question. I really don't know. I have my doubts on 700, but as long as I feel good and I don't go through too many more seasons like this. I don't know. I don't know how I'll feel after the 600. If it's now or next year, that'll be the key, is how you feel after that.
Finish this statement. We will have success in the postseason if
P. Allen gets off to a good start.
We've talked a lot about 600 wins. Do you remember who you beat in your first game?
Midland Lutheran, 80-50, I think.
How about
Wow.
How about 100?
Your 100th win?
Yeah.
At Valpo, Western Illinois.
Central Michigan, actually. You were close. Did you watch the Oscars last night?
No.
Gas price is $3.30 in St. Joseph right now. They were $2.25 a year ago today. Will we ever see $2.25 again?
Yes.
Okay, I'll vote
I hope
for you.
so.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
taking
right.
you to
I
the
want to be
bank.
voted for.
And if you were
If I
able
retire, I want to be able to do something else.
You've got my vote. If you were able to name your 100th win, I was going to ask you to name all 599 of them, so it's probably a good thing that you couldn't name it. So
I can't remember number 434.
Thursday night against Fort Hays in the MIAA tournament at the Municipal Auditorium. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank
Make
you.
a run again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be
Thank
right
you.
back.
Basketball.
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 It's a dance.
Forty minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes of pure emotion. It's a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
Great time.
It's a great time to be a Griffin.
Welcome back. Western women's basketball's in the MIAA tournament for the first time in 3 years. They have a Friday date with Washburn.
But the Griffins are taking much momentum into the postseason after dropping the final 2 games of the regular season. Western women in Warrensburg taking on former Griffin head coaches Dave Slifer, Josh Keister, and Central Missouri. This is a tough physical game. Rachel Lutine works inside to earn her 2 points. Later, Bear Bell on the drive. It's no good, but fights to get her own board and put back. Western up 21-19. Then it's Jessica Cook. Nails the 3. She had 15 points. We're tied at 29. Slifer animated. Central responds. Renee Shippey nails the 3 before the halftime buzzer. Griffs down 37-32 at halftime. This was a 3-point game with 13 minutes to play, but Western slows down and Central heats up. The Jennies then unleash a 13-0 run. They'd outscore the Griffs 30-11 in the final 12 minutes. Not even 4 Rachel Lutine block shots could slow the momentum. Central runs away with an 80-58 win. Western women closing out the regular season in Bolivar against the Southwest Baptist Bearcats. Not all Bearcats look alike. Close of the first half, Brenna Celine creates her own shot. The bank is open on a Saturday night. It's not pretty, and she knows it. Western's still up 4. Later, Jessica Cook drives through the defense and drops the tough right-handed layup. Griffin's up 29-26 at halftime. Second half, more from Cook. Splits the D, draws the whistle, gets a 3-point play. She had 27 points. Griff's up 3, but Baptist answering. Ashley Galileo drives left and gets the layup. Bearcats take a 47-45 lead midway through the second half. Then it's Galileo from outside. SBU now up 5. Western staying in it, though. More from Cook. 3 ball. all net. She ties the game at 54. Later, Griff's down 4 in transition. Lauren Nolke pops the 3. It's a 58-57 game, but that's as close as the Griffs could get the rest of the way. Baptist controlled the glass and the ball, and they go on to beat Western 70-62 the final. The Griffins finish the regular season at 14-12. They'll meet Washburn in the opening round of the MIAA tournament Friday. Not quite the way they wanted to go into the postseason.
I think it's really an eye-opener and a wake-up call to us that if we don't handle business, this could happen to us next weekend.
And joining us right now is head women's basketball coach Lynn Plett. Lynn, a tough loss to a good team Wednesday, a tough loss to a not-so-good team Saturday. How concerning is that coming into the MIAA tournament?
Well, first of all, Baptist played like better than a not-so-good team. But,
good point.
So I have to give them some credit for that. It wasn't just the fact that we were just awful. But it concerns me a little bit, but I think we're going to be able to address that enough. And I can't believe that our seniors in particular aren't going to be pretty pointed this week to do as well as they can on Friday.
We mentioned this week, the calendar today says March. We're back in the MIAA tournament, and first round matchup, we play the Washburn Lady Blues. We split with them this year. I think they saw us at our best, and we saw them at their best. You're a tape watcher. Talk about, other than the final scores, what you've seen, maybe the difference in both of those games, above beyond anything else.
Should mention, too, that you beat them by 21. They beat you by 21.
We probably saw each other at our worst as well. They have more three-point threats than we do. So their transition game, I think, ends up a lot of times with a three-point shot. Our transition game hopefully ends up with a little bit more of a layup, a little bit closer shot to the basket than theirs sometimes. And so I think that's a little bit of a difference on the offensive end. Defensively, you know, they've got a pretty strong, long post player inside it, and actually Rachel and her have matched up pretty well so far. They have a little bit more experience in the playoffs, so to speak, but then again, we bring kind of a new blood, so to speak, to the tournament that could bring some excitement and intensity that we maybe can have that maybe teams who have been there for a couple of years don't have.
You mentioned experience. How big a deal is that a little bit? Washburn, well, they've had great success in the MIAA championships. A lot like us, they've got a lot of new faces that are doing it for them this year. So in a sense, we think they have experience, but some new players are doing good things for them. Do we overhype that, or does that really make a big difference?
I don't know. You know, that's always a subject of to talk about. You know, before the Super Bowl, you know, you compare the teams, you know, oh, so-and-so's been there before, that's a big advantage. I'm not sure if it is or not. I think it really depends on your mindset of your individual players. And, you know, look what New Orleans did. They hadn't been to the Super Bowl very often, and they ended up pulling it off. So I think it's all individual with players and how they look at it. I don't necessarily think that that's a big advantage, if it is an advantage at all. On paper, you know, are they supposed to win? Yeah. They are. And are we even supposed to be there? No. You know, that should be to our advantage to some degree. We should go in there loose. We should enjoy ourselves. We should play as hard as we possibly can and play like there's no tomorrow, because that's the reality.
Easley's Impromptu, you ready? The postseason edition of Easley's Impromptu. Finish this statement. We will have success in the postseason
if we have balanced scoring on the offensive end.
Your favorite memory of March Madness, either coaching or playing or watching?
Oh, I can think of my least favorite losses. Hosting the regional my last year at Lewis.
Did you watch the Oscars last night?
No.
Neither did I. Finally, this might be the big burning question. Gas is $3.30 a gallon in St. Joseph right now. A year ago today, it was $2.25. Will we ever see that again, or is gas there to stay?
$2.25. Will we see $2.25 again? Is your question? I'd say the odds are slim that we'll ever see that again.
I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, I do too.
So
I'm not voting for you for president either if you ever run. You play Washburn in the MIAA tournament on Friday night, 6 o'clock. You're the 7 seed. They're the 2 seed. The last 2 times Missouri Western women have been in the NCAA, the MIAA tournament, you played Washburn. So you're due for a win.
I like that.
Whatever that's worth.
That's right.
I'm for that all the way.
See you in Kansas City.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Basketball to me is life.
Basketball to me means being together as a family.
Out there doing what I love with teammates I love.
5 players becoming a unit, working hard to get the job done.
Because it brings out the true character, you really find out really who you really are sometimes.
You learn not to take the easy answer. You learn to have a common goal. Those are the things that are important about basketball.
Welcome back. They say March rolls in like a lion. Western softball doing just that. Well, they're half lion anyway.
That's right, they are. The Griffins have jumped out to a 9-3 record this early season. They went 5-1 last weekend at the Arkansas Monticello Invitational. Western has hit 16 home runs in 12 games. Tony Dance has hit half of them. And joining us right now is head softball coach Jen Bagley. Coach, how about that power surge?
It's much better to be hitting the ball like that now. It puts a lot of things at ease for the circle. So we're pleased with it.
When you came out of your first weekend, we had the power, but I think you were a little disappointed maybe in your average at the plate. That's kind of risen a little bit.
It improved this last weekend, and I think it improved. We started seeing the ball better and making better choices at the plate. So then when we were taking our hacks, we were getting more of the ball, and so as a result, we were able to see more of our hitters hit for average this weekend, as well as power.
Yeah, Tony Dance, one of those that sums it all up. You're an Australian player.
Yes.
8 home runs, batting about 400, something like that. Something ridiculous.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Just talk about her performance these first couple weeks.
We've been really happy for Tony because I think we had been talking about her performance last year and how she was so disappointed in how she did last year. And she's had a mindset that she wanted to make that right this year, and so far she's doing a pretty good job.
But she also got to pitch it very well. I think we know what we have in Jonelle Belger. I think we knew what we thought we had in Jackie Bishop, and she's obliged so far. She's got a lot of strikeouts, a pretty good ERA as well.
Yeah, she's as a freshman, it's kind of fun to watch her mature. As much as you tell freshmen coming in, listen, these are some adjustments you need to make from pitching in high school where you may face 1 or 2 good batters in a whole lineup to playing in college where you're facing a whole lineup. There are different things that you're going to have to do with your pitching performance, and she learned that lesson early on. She's making adjustments, and I can see her buying into those adjustments more and more.
Coach Bagley, a lot of coaches reach milestones. You reached one last week and 300 wins. Talk about what that means to you.
300 wins. I think anytime, whether it's New Year's Eve or a birthday, a milestone, I think it's important to look back and think about all the things that go into those milestones. Okay, what happened last year? What happened, since 2010? But looking at my 300th win, I really, really, and sincerely, the players that I've had and the families that have had as a result of those players come through our program has made it really special. I think we have a really neat atmosphere in our little Griffon softball family. And when I look at those 300 wins and all the girls and the families that have been a part of those 300 wins, that's really neat.
Okay, Coach Bagley, this is your inaugural Easley's Impromptu. We just ask you 4 questions and you answer them the best you can. Some may be relative and some may not, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Your dream vacation spot, if somebody said, Coach Bagley, go anywhere you want to, what would your dream vacation spot be? Maybe you've taken that already.
I think my dream vacation spot right now would be New York City.
New York City, not a bad one. You won your 300th career game here at Western. That's hard to believe. Is there a favorite win maybe you remember in those 300?
We were in Durant and playing in the regional tournament 2 years ago, and Brittany Douglas hit a walk-off home run to beat Central Missouri to go into the finals of that tournament. That was a lot of fun.
Your favorite thing about St. Joseph, Missouri?
Boudreaux's.
Boudreaux's.
Okay, sponsor as well. That's perfect. And finally, best player you've coached here at Missouri Western?
I think maybe if I were to look back overall, it would be a toss-up between Kara Unger and Lindsay Predovich.
You bet.
Those are 2 really good ones, too.
2
2
good
possible
ones. No doubt
future
about
Hall of
that.
Famers. You got the OBU Classic in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Didn't know that city existed.
I didn't either.
But
Vacation capital,
yeah.
isn't it? No.
But it does, and it's later this week. Good luck to you. You're home March 8th for a doubleheader against Quincy. That's the first home game, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
so far.
See you so far. All right.
far.
Thank you, Jen Bagley.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Good luck
it.
this
Thank
weekend.
GSI will be right back. What was supposed to be a history-making new stadium home opening, grand opening, is not to be. Old Man Winter ruined that. Welcome back to GSI. Western Baseball is now 0 for 457 and actually playing scheduled games in February, and that's really not that much of a stretch.
It's just a mirage, I think. Instead, the Griffins took their doubleheader to neutral ground in Kansas last Saturday. Griffs lost game 1 4-2 and won game 2 17-16. Quite a slugfest, eh, Coach?
Good thing to see from our guys is that we fought and we kind of came back. We hit the ball very well the rest of the game. We scored, they scored, and then pretty much whoever was going to be the last standing, I guess, was going to end up winning that game. So I guess we kick the extra point, we win it, and we won it 17-16, and that's kind of how that game ended up finishing out.
Griff's Open Conference play this weekend at Missouri Southern. Next scheduled home date, Saturday, March 19th against Central Missouri.
Western Tennis, meanwhile, off to a respectable start. The Griffons went 2-1 in their own Car City Hyundai Invitational tournament this past weekend at the St. Joe Tennis and Swim Club. Griff's now 2-2 overall and showing much improvement from the recent past. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to GSI. It's the Pick'em segment. Brett Easley wearing the coat once again. Why? Because you won last week.
Are you surprised? It's almost March. People elevate their game in March. I've elevated mine.
You won by one, for goodness sakes, though. Don't get too
You
out of
were close.
hand. I was.
You were close.
MIAA tournament this week. We're going to pick the opening round games. We're going to start with the men. Baptist, the 8th seed at Missouri Southern, the number 1 seed.
8th seed has won 3 years in a row. Not going to happen this year. Missouri Southern beats SBU. It's going to be close. A lot of points are going to be scored.
I'll take Southern as well. 5-4 games. Central, the 5 seed. UNO, the 4 seed.
And a good matchup. Mules playing good to end the year, even though we went in there and beat them. I'm taking the Mules. Give me the 5 seed over UNO.
I'll take Central as well. That's a safe pick. Washburn, the 3 seed. Number 6, Emporia, the 6 seed. Emporia beat Washburn just Saturday.
Turnpike tussle comes down the Turnpike the other way to Municipal Auditorium. Go figure Emporia. Are they playing good or not? Washburn, go figure them out. Give me the Ichabods. 3 seed will beat the 6 seed here.
Give me the Ichabods as well. We're going to pick the same here. And number 2, Hayes. Number 7, Western Men. The keys to the game. I'm not going to put you on the spot and have you pick.
We normally don't pick our own games, and I'm going to hold true to that. I think for us to win, simple. This sounds generic. We got to shoot it in and score points to win. I think if we can get the game in the 80s, I think we have a chance. If it's a slugfest, I think Hayes will probably come out victorious.
Okay, now pick me the entire winner of the tournament, Brett, for the men's side.
I'm going to take Missouri Southern. They win the regular season conference championship. I think they're too good. They're going to host the region. They go 10 deep, and they can score. They're the all-around best team. I think best team wins here this year.
I'm going to go the dark horse. Pick me number 3, Washburn, to win the whole thing. Women's side, number 1, Northwest, number 8, Truman.
Well, I think that's going to be a closer game as well. I think it's a little more balanced on the women's side, but I think Gene Steinmeier's club wins the opening game. Less than 10, though.
I'll take Northwest as well in a game closer than people would think. The 5-4 game, 5 Pitt State, 4 Missouri Southern.
I give Marianne Mitz's club some credit. I really haven't given her credit all year long. I think they're a pretty good basketball team. I think Pitt State's a little down. A lot of things off the floor have happened there. Missouri Southern wins that opening round game.
Give me Southern as well. The 3-6 game, 3 Emporia, 6 Central.
This is your upset here. Emporia State's young. They've kind of limped in the tournament. And Dave Slifer's club, go figure them out. But they've had some Kansas City magic last couple of years. They will here as well. Central Missouri beats Emporia State.
I agree. We're in complete agreement. And the 2-7 game, number 2 Washburn, number 7 Western. A game Lynn Plett said his team not supposed to win, of course.
Well, 7 shouldn't beat 2, but for us to beat 2, I think we need to play with reckless abandon, have nothing to lose. I think we need to rebound the basketball. We need to guard the perimeter. Washburn shoots it well. And I think we need to be versatile. I think Jessica Cook needs to score, but so does Rachel Lutine, Lauren Nolke, and the cast of thousands. If we get a role-playing game from our role players, we'll have a chance to win this game.
Pick me the winner of the women's tournament.
It's going to be Washburn. Washburn gets it done. I like Northwest. I think they got a chance to get to the Elite 8, but I think it's Washburn in the end. They'll get it done at Kansas City.
It's been the Washburn or Northwest show this decade in Kansas City. Get me Northwest to win this tournament for the 3rd time in 10 years. I kind of like how they're playing, and this year they are the favorite, unlike years past that they've won it. That is GSI for this week, our first week of March. For all the information on the MIAA tournament, log on to our website, gogriffons.com. And as always, Brett,
go Griffs!
Go Griffs!